Hey guys, welcome to the Real Movie Lovers podcast. This is a video podcast about real filmmakers having real conversations about real topics, which include movies, TV, current events, and tech news. I'm your host, Lisa, and I will be covering for both my co-host and I. Fahad, he is going to take a hiatus for a little while. I'm holding it down till he gets back. So this is why it looks a little different, and this is kind of what we're going to be doing every week. Movie news and all the good stuff. Real quick, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button and ring notification bells so you can stay up to date with what's going on. We appreciate you guys, and we are trying to grow a nice community here. Now, let's get into this. It really feels weird not having my right hand here. So if I feel a little awkward, might be. So we're going to get into movies and TV checked out. So I literally just did an Instagram live on Blink Twice, that 2024 thriller, which I didn't even get a chance to talk about Zoe Kravitz as a director. But I did a live on Instagram where we talked in extensive detail about the movie, the layers within that movie, you know, all the symbols and messaging, all kind of stuff. It was amazing with What's a Good Though Pod. So shout out to them. What's a Good Though podcast. Give them a follow. And let me tell you, this movie, man, I'm a big fan of psychological thrillers, and this movie had it all for me. There was first of all, the colors, like the bright yellows, the reds, the blues, even the greens, and filmed on location, which, thank you. I needed a break from green screen, like legit. Okay. So it was just so bright and fluid. And then when I looked in deeper, the colors themselves were representations of different things. Like, yellow meant caution, and red was like danger, empowerment. It was very like layered. And the mind warp that is that movie, like that is the kind of movie where like you watch it, you immediately want to rewatch it at least a couple more times because there's so many little like seeds and breadcrumbs and nuggets and things they throw in there to like kind of, foreshadowing, messaging. It had a lot to say. And I'm not going to spoil anything because I need you guys to watch it. It's really good. Now, if you go watch my Instagram live on the Real Movie Lovers Instagram, it will also be up here, the conversation on Sunday on the YouTube channel. But we do spoilers in that. We talk about everything. So if you haven't seen it yet and you really want to see it, I would encourage you to see it first before you watch my our breakdown conversation. But this movie, the characters were great. Channing Tatum. Oh my gosh, Channing Tatum. Like, who knew, right? That the guy who came out of Step Up would turn out to be such an extraordinary villain. He has really come a long way. And I mean, I've always been a fan. This isn't knocking him. You know what I mean? It's just, Step Up, the kind of genre, like, like the young, fun hip hop dance movie, to a psychological thriller. And, all of the successes he's had in between. I have really enjoyed watching his rise, and it's been fun. So fun. So now if you guys have seen Blink Twice, I would love to get your thoughts. So, drop it in the chat and let me know. I would love to have a conversation. I watched the movie 3 times before I even sat down to talk about it. 3 times. And there would have been a 4th time if I had the time. That's how much I love this movie. That's how much there's so much in it that you see. Because when you're first watching it, you're like, oh, and they're having fun. Okay. Like, it's just like, okay, we get it. We're having fun. And then when stuff hits the fan, you start to realize all the little things that they were showing you on the screen that you weren't paying attention to. Masterful. Zoe Kravitz, masterful. Okay. Love it. Love it. So, everyone in it, honestly, everyone in it did a great job. I have no notes. No notes. Except when a billionaire wants to take you to an island, maybe rethink it. You know what I mean? Rethink it. And if this is the beginning of Channing Tatum's villain arc era in movies, I'm here for it. Let's get it. I also checked out The Wild Robot. I had been hearing so many things about this movie, and I mean, positive, good things. And it's just, I feel like it's unfortunate that the marketing wasn't more behind it because this movie, I thought Inside Out 2 had it for me. Wild Robot, for me, is the animation movie of the year. It really is. It really is. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I kind of skipped over Blink Twice a little bit. I recommended it, but it is about some, young lady and her friend who are, whisked off to an island with a billionaire. So that's all you need to know. Anyway, back to Wild Robot. So with Wild Robot, an AI robot mistakenly gets, dumped in a forest and is treated like a monster by the surrounding, wildlife naturally. But the AI is not dangerous. The AI wants to help. But that is what it was created for, was to help, but be an aid to humans. But there are no humans on this island, in this place. So it ends up uh, raising a baby bird. That I can't remember what kind of bird it is now. I'm blanking. Was it a duck? I can't remember. I'm blanking. I'm sorry. And you just see how the AI kind of transforms, learns to be a part of the wildlife, learns to be a mother to the bird, to the baby bird, and slowly over time wins over the animals. It is, let me tell you. And I knew within the first like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, that this was not a Disney movie. Okay. And it's not anything bad. It's because they were showing when the robot first got there, it was trying to help the wildlife, and literally right in front of it, it was prey, predator, like eating like the chain, the food chain. You literally saw like an animal's head fly up. Now there's no blood or anything, so it's definitely still kid friendly. I watched it with my whole family, but it was just in that moment I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely not Disney. If I had any doubts, it's not Disney. Disney would not do this. Disney is that, look away and imply. I think this is DreamWorks. DreamWorks is like, no, you gonna get this work. So if you guys have seen Wild Robot, let me know. I definitely recommend it though. Like, it's that good of a movie. And maybe I cried, okay, but I'm also a crier, so maybe I'm not the best source, but it does hit you in the feels. So, I mean the feels. Anyway, so there's that. And of course, I am also watching From, From, which is like this really like mystery horror show. It's in this third season now. I'm almost caught up. I'm only one episode behind. It's about these people that get stranded in this place, where you end up, you get there, you can't leave. Like, but it's not somewhere that you can find on a map. And you could end up there from anywhere in the world. And there are horrible monsters and places and things in this place. Like, it's the people who produced Lost, they're the people who are behind this show. So if that gives you any indication of what kind of mind-bendy, scary things are happening in this show. So if you're into that, definitely. There are a couple of characters that actually get on my nerves, but I'm not here to talk about them. We will leave them. There's just this, I guess with any horror, whether it's a show or a movie, there are just certain characters, that make certain decisions that you're just like, but why, Sway? But why did we have to do this? And I don't want to call any names, but it just, I just need some answers. Anyway, So that's kind of what I've checked out. I haven't really had a chance to watch much else. I am hoping to watch Substance soon. The Substance with Demi Moore. I really want to see that one. So without further ado, let's dive into our movie news today. So I've got some stories for you guys. First, we're going to talk about Alex Cross, the new, I think, Amazon series based on the James Patterson books, and why Aldous Hodge, the actor playing Alex Cross, he didn't watch the Morgan Freeman movies or the Tyler Perry movie, which I agree with. I think it's a good idea not to do that. So Aldous Hodge, he's been in a few things. Off the top of my head, Straight Outta Compton, he was in that. I like him as an actor. He's good. And hot take, I think he would have been a good Black Panther after Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P. So, all right, now, so the new Amazon Prime series, it's following Alex Cross, which for those of you who are not familiar with the name specifically, Morgan Freeman played that character in Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider back in like the 90s ish, 2000s. So it's chronicling the life of a forensic type of detective with like extensive detail skills. Like he observes and watches and remembers things and picks up on things. It's like Sherlock Holmes level of observation, you know what I mean? And being able to just solve cases and put like clues together. So, Aldous, I'm so sorry. Aldous Hodge. Am I saying his name correctly? Hope I'm saying his name correctly. Aldous Hodge. Okay. So now what he was saying is that, he didn't watch any of the movies, and that's because he likes to keep a barrier so that he can do his job. Separates how one actor chose to do a role when he's stepping into the exact same role. That way he can bring his own his own take on the character. Because that is the, I gotta say, that is like the appeal, you know what I mean, of having a new actor take over a beloved character. Like, think about James Bond films, right? I mean, how many James Bonds have there been? So many. I don't know all of their processes. I don't know if they, like if Sean Connery, went back and watched like Roger Moore or whoever, performance to kind of get a feel for it, or, if they went in cold. So, I'll just say it's more about making sure that I can protect the character that I'm playing and creating and stepping into. So essentially, this version of Alex Cross, first of all, is going to be, I believe, younger than the previous versions, right? Definitely younger than Morgan Freeman's version, because Morgan Freeman, his version of Alex Cross was like, been there, done that, y'all can't play me. I know what I'm doing, right? And then Tyler Perry had an Alex Cross movie that I rubbed from my memory. I did not particularly enjoy that. Like, the villain in that movie was great, but I didn't particularly enjoy his version of Alex Cross. There's a few holes there for me, like as far as like the performance, the story, and a couple of like things that they were trying to. It's almost like they were trying to. They had forgotten that he was this talented, detail-oriented, forensic type of dude, and they had to like walk it back into, oh yeah, he did notice this, but it didn't make sense with the shot. Like, I know, I'm not like making complete sense, but if you've seen Alex Cross and you remember like the shot with like the bomb going off around the car, and they're just, I don't want to get into it, but that particular movie does not have a high rating, and that's for a reason. So matter of fact, when they cast Tyler Perry as Alex Cross initially, I was like, oh, okay, let's see what he does with it. And I was like, oh, well, mm, you know. So he didn't direct it; he just starred in it. So, but I feel like, you know, there were a couple notes, I mean, I don't want to harp too much on that. Um, but Morgan Freeman's movies, oh, choice. Kiss the Girls, oh, Ashley Judd, okay, Ashley Judd and Kiss the Girls is the reason why I started boxing and wanted to be going to like kickboxing. I don't do kickboxing. It's not professional. It's more like an exercise thing, but you know what I mean? Like punching. Like she was so badass in that. I was like, that's what I want. And then of course, Along Came the Spider was excellent. It was an excellent sequel. I don't know which one I like more, to be perfectly honest, but I do like the idea of this series. I'm planning on watching it. I haven't had a chance to sit down. I think the full season is out now, I believe, on Amazon. And I really want to get into it. I really want to see what they do with it, see how they, this different take, especially knowing that like Hodge did not not consult, but he didn't like look at what Morgan Freeman did with it. He didn't look at what Tyler Perry did with it. He's literally bringing his own take on the whole thing. So I like when an actor does that. I feel like the only time it's prudent, crucial to talk or look back is if you're doing like a biopic. You know what I mean? Like if you're how Jamie Foxx, when he was starting Ray, which should have gotten an Oscar for, when he started Ray, and he literally was hanging out with Ray Charles, picking up on his mannerisms and this and that. Like, yeah, definitely you're trying to bring that to the screen, but a fictional character who you can kind of like, who's in a different stage of their life, floor is yours. The floor is yours. I've actually never read any of the books, which I'm surprised because I do love reading. It's harder it's harder now as I'm older than it was before. I used to like devour books when I was younger. It's just because the time, it's just so much to do. But this is making me want to like start reading the books. It really is. Like James Patterson has put out a lot of stuff, and I kind of want to like start dipping into that a little bit. I'm more of a Stephen King fan. I like my horror, but I'm open to like, mysteries and stuff. They're fun. Right? No, not just me. That's probably just me. um, let's see. Yeah. So for season 1 of, I think the show was just called Cross. Now I can't remember. Don't quote me. But they're diving into the main character's family life with far more depth than any of the movies ever did. So I'm very intrigued because in Kiss the Girls, the most we got from that is his niece was involved. We knew about his niece. I don't recall them saying much about his family. And then in the Alex Cross movie with Tyler Perry, I believe he had either a fiance or a wife. Can't remember which one she was. And spoiler alert, she dies. I guess somebody was aiming for him, I think, and killed her by accident. Something of that nature. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I spoil it? Oh no, I guess you can't watch that awesome movie now. Yay. Woo. So yeah. So that's kind of the gist of what you get about his family. So for them to say that they're going to dive even deeper into his family life, I am all for it. I am here for it. I'm so here for it. So I'm going to definitely watch the show. Should I do a deep dive video on the show after I watch it? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. So, and I think that's it on the Tyler Perry. Why Tyler Perry? Alex Cross. I have Tyler Perry on the brain. Um, yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, I really want to see, and I'm hoping that it gets a season two, because these type of like solved mystery shows and things, I love that. Like Elementary with I can't remember the guy's name, but Lucy Liu's in it. She plays Watson. Elementary, I loved that show, where it shows Sherlock Holmes in an entirely different light, like what you wouldn't expect, but he's still his genius self, and all these mysteries and things. I'm probably gonna rewatch. I'll probably rewatch this whole like how many seasons? 6, 7, I think. And also The Mentalist. Yes. I love them. Like I love it when there's like a mystery and someone has a specific type of intellect or specific observation skills where they can see things that other people can't see, or behaviors they pick up on. I'm all about it. So if that's what this is kind of going to be like, I'm already in. But I'll report back. I'll report back. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Timothy Oliphant and 3 more stars to lead a remake of this action horror movie that has an 83% Rotten Tomatoes score. So I'm not one of those people who like live and breathe by a Rotten Tomatoes score. I've seen it go horribly wrong where they are some of them some good movies are not getting their just due, and some movies are way better than you know what I think they are. But it's also based off like what critics think and what audience thinks. So it's not that they're necessarily wrong, it's that our tastes are different. So when you tell me, oh, this it got a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, that doesn't necessarily throw me off or turn me off. So, and vice versa. But this actually kind of makes me a little more interested. So, Timothy Oliphant, which, where's this guy from? Yeah, he was Deadwood's sheriff. I didn't even know that he voiced the Terminator in Netflix's Terminator Zero anime, which I have not seen yet. I need to see it. I want to see it so badly. Have you guys seen it? I have to see it. I need to watch it with somebody. I think it's one of those animes that I want to watch with somebody so we can like talk about it. I'll see if I can find somebody to watch it with. Maybe my kids want to watch it. It is anime. I might be able to get them on that. Anyway, so derailing. But okay. So him and Jason Segel, Samara Weaving, Juliette Lewis. Oh, I love Juliette Lewis. They are going to be doing a remake of 2021's The Trip, which is a Norwegian film, I think it said. Yeah, Norwegian film that's basically about a dysfunctional couple who are traveling to a remote cabin with plans to kill the other. A horror comedy of sorts is what it sounds like. Okay. And then they run into, I guess they have to survive because then they get some other people come to try to hurt them. So anyway, the thing about this is when I looked into this, I realized I started watching this movie, I think back in 2021, but then I got busy. I only saw the first like 10 minutes. I got busy or something and I never came back to it. So now to know that, first of all, it's got a high rating. And when you're a horror comedy, you immediately have my attention, right? And then to know that they're doing a remake now with Timothy Oliphant and Samara Weaving, who, that's my girl, and we gonna talk about her next. But I'm on board. Like, I'm definitely on board. So I think I'm gonna go watch the Norwegian version and then watch the English version, which I know it might not be the same. And there's a lot of times where there's like for a while, like maybe still doing it. There was like Japanese movies um that we would make American versions of. Like off the top of my head, I'm thinking of The Grudge. So that's one. That's one. But that was a successful, translation. And even The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. How that was initially a Swedish film, and then David Fincher made a American version that I personally like better than the Swedish film. I thought it was great. I loved it, actually. Um, I wish he had done more, but I know there was the audience wasn't there for it. Why weren't you guys there? I'm getting off your base, but and then Let the Right One In. I think that was also a Swedish film, and I watched that one and the American version. I can't remember which one I liked better, but it might have been the Swedish version, or Danish. I'm sorry, I'm getting my countries mixed up. Whoever originally made it, that's what I liked. So, considering we have good and bad, remakes and versions of original stuff, it's not that I'm not like on the fence, you know what I mean? But I'm immediately hesitant, and then you tell me who's in it, and I'm like, well, you have my attention. Because Timothy Oliphant, nice touch. Samara Weaving, yeah. Juliet, I mean, I think I might already be on board, honestly. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm on board. I am definitely on board. So are you guys too? How are you guys feeling about this? Have you guys heard about this? The trip. Again, I think is it a Netflix original? Oh, okay. It's currently available on Netflix right now, so you guys can go watch it. The Trip from 2021. It's Norwegian, so I'm pretty sure there are subtitles, or maybe they have a dubbed version. I don't know. I like doing subtitles because I sometimes dubs. It's just hard because the the actor's voice align with them and how they deliver it. Their tone are different than like a dub version, so that's why. Unless I'm too tired to read, I try to go with subtitles. Me by myself personally, and I'm a pretty fast reader, so most of the time I can read real fast and catch most of what's happening in the scene and not like miss anything, except when I'm tired. Oh my gosh! So I am excited for this, and I'm definitely going to watch the other one version first because I'm looking. And I'm like, yeah, this is up my alley. This is definitely up my alley. Are you guys checking this out too? Let me know. Drop a comment, whatever. Let me know. Now, since we already mentioned Samara Weaving, okay, let's go right into that story. Okay, Samara Weaving is the main character. She was the bride in Ready or Not, which is another horror comedy. All right, you know what? Full disclosure. When I was younger, my favorite genre was horror. Like that's how I really came into movies first, was horror. Like I'm talking 6, 7 years old watching horror movies. Don't recommend. I mean, I turned out fine, but 80s horror movies is not today's horror movies. So, we'll see. Anyway, so then, I started diving into other genres, romantic comedies and sci-fi and action, they're all fun. But I will say, to this day, a horror movie trailer will catch my attention faster than most any other genre. I'll be real quick to be like, wait, what's this? And I think that now I'm kind of getting into my era of horror comedy is my jam. Like The Blackening. Oh my gosh, that movie is freaking hilarious. So hilarious. Um, Ready or Not. I loved Ready or Not, which we're discussing right now. So Ready or Not is about a young woman played by Samara Weaving, who she has no family. And so, she starts, we pick up where she is on her wedding day, marrying like the man of her dreams who has this full family, and there's like super successful, super rich, but she's not with him because of the money. She's not. She's not. The money's nice though. It's a nice bonus. So there's that. Anyway, and on her wedding night, she finds out that because that family, they made their fame and fortune off of like games, like board games, all kind of games. So it's like an initiation where she has to play a game, and it turns out that their success and their wealth is tied to kind of like, I don't want to say a cult. It's not really a cult. It's like a deal with the devil. You know what I mean? So it's like every once in a while, there needs to be a sacrifice. And she just happens to be the sacrifice for that night. And then you just see this, how hijinks ensue of her trying to survive. It's a very funny, horrific movie. And I mean, horrific is harsh. I meant not horrific. What's the word I'm thinking of? You know what I mean? What's that word? Graphic. I know words. Graphic is the word I'm looking for. Yes, it's a graphic movie. So, it's like, I mean, you're seeing like the blood and everything and whatnot, but it's fun. It's like a fun slasher. If you like Thanksgiving, like the slasher Eloth Roth movie, you're gonna love this. Again, I told you guys, horror comedy is my new bag. So right now, that movie is trending on Netflix in the top 10 chart. No shocker. Ready or Not is that movie. Okay, Samara Weaving is that girl. She's the new one of the new Scream Queens to me. So I'm on board. We're talking Australia hitting it, Belgium, Chile, Denmark, Ecuador, Germany, Greece, name it. Everyone is on it. And I didn't even know this, but Ready or Not is getting a sequel. Considering how it ended, I'm like, where are we going with it now? I'm very intrigued. Okay. I'm very intrigued. So these are, let's see, the directors for Ready or Not who are coming back for the sequel. What's his name? Matt Bettini, Open, and Tyler Gillette. They are the same team that did 2022's Scream. So I think that was the last one. I think that was the last one. So, which was fun. And now Scream's a whole nother animal right now. I don't even know what's happening with Scream. Oh, wait, no, I do. Never mind. They're bringing back Neve Campbell. I forgot for a moment. I think it's because I liked the direction they were going, and then a bunch of stuff happened, and stars were removed or left, and now they're kind of going back to, Sydney Prescott, which Neve Campbell, always love when she pops in, but I was also enjoying them ushering in this new, younger, this new era, I should say, this new era. But we'll see what they do with it. Yeah. So, have you guys seen Ready or Not? Is that your bag? Is that kind of your thing, I should say? Because it's a lot of fun. It's not a kid movie. And I'm pretty sure it's rated R. But it's because it's like, imagine she's in a house full of people who are trying to hunt her down and kill her. And she has to find ways to try to survive. But some people are going to get taken out, and they're going to get taken out in funny and or graphic ways. And that's the best I can put it. But I recommend you hit this up. It's that fun. So, and let me know if you guys have seen it. And if you're excited for the sequel, because I'm definitely excited for the sequel. Which, perfect segue into our next story, which is Denzel Washington. Like, he got into the age where he like, look, what you want to know? I'm going to tell you everything. He just let it spill that there are 2 Equalizer sequels in development. Not uno, dos. And I am here for it. I love the Equalizer movies. Love them. Okay? Love them. So here's the thing. The Equalizer is, about a former, let's just say, CIA ops person, because I have no idea. One of the 3-letter governments, who is skilled, probably was taking out bad guys, for the government, and decided to leave. But I think it's one of those things where he had to. You cannot go quietly. So I think he died or whatever. They had to, Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so essentially, he's looking for a quiet life, but I mean, sometimes you can only run from who you are for so long. So at his core, he is someone who hates injustice and, cares for others, especially others in need. So he's the guy that you call when you need help, basically. And there's 3 movies. They're amazing. It's Denzel. What are we talking about here? Of course, it's amazing. And the 3rd movie had such a nice, satisfying conclusion that for them to be having 4 and 5 in development, and we're talking about Antoine Fuqua directing, who I have complete faith in. What we talking about? I'm here. Say less. I am here. I am convinced. I am ready, willing, and able. Take my money. That's what I'm trying to say. So here's the thing. So to quote Denzel, he says, I told them I would do another Equalizer. And we're doing 4 and 5. More people are happy about that. People love those doggone Equalizers. But I've come to realize that the Equalizer films are for me too, because they're for the people. They want me to go get the bad guys. We can't get them, so you go get them. And I said, okay, I'll get them. Just wait here. I'll be right back. Yo, how can you not love Denzel Washington? You know what I mean? Or the persona. Okay, the persona. Yeah, I know we don't know him, but you get what I'm saying. So, now here's what's funny about the Equalizer series. To my knowledge, this is the only series where Denzel has sequels. He's never done a movie with sequels. Now, he's been in a sequel, like the upcoming Gladiator 2, but he's never done like there's no Training Day 2. Okay? There's no Man on Fire 2. Now, coincidentally, the endings of those 2 movies kind of ensure it, but you get what I'm saying. So, this is evident that this is like near and dear to his heart for him to be doing this. You know what I mean? Like it means a lot, and you can tell that he has a great love for this character, for this world, and especially since he is retiring soon. He's made it known that like this is his last round of films. He's gonna be retiring, and I think that's also why he was like, again, at that age where it's like, what do you want to know? I'll tell you, because he also was like, yeah, I'm in the next Black Panther movie, and I don't even know if if that's something that Marvel um said that he could say right then, because they like to do like big reveals like at Comic Cons and things like that. So for him to say that, I was like, is Denzel the new Tom Holland? Just saying everything. I don't know. I'm good either way, but I thought it was funny. So it yeah, these first of all, the Equalizer 3, I know I said it's unreliable, but when it's this high, I have to say something. The Equalizer 3 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is 94%. A strong 94%. So, if that's giving you any indication of how well received and loved these movies are, that would be it. Now, I know that there was a TV show back in the day called The Equalizer, which obviously it's based off of that material, and then they made it into movies. So I'm all for repurposing material, but just make sure it's worth it and worth it. Now so I'm not sure when it's going to get started, because as noted, Denzel, as good as he looks, because black don't crack unless it's on crack, he is getting up there. He's almost 70 years old. So by the time we get 4 and 5, he could be close to 80. And the type of physicality that is required for this, not only for the role, but for the character and their abilities themselves, I'm interested to see how they're going to find practical, believable ways for him to get some of the things done that he gets done, which, I have faith in it. Yeah, there's no release dates on these projects. It's the early days. We just know that it's happening. And Antoine Fuqua and Denzel Washington work well together, so I don't think that there will be any like crazy delays like Blade, which is now, I think dead in the water. So, yeah, he's got several. Yeah, he's got. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's like, I want to work with Fuqua the rest of my days right now. Like he's rounding out his career with Antoine, and I don't blame him. So he got what? Equalizers. He got Black Panther. He's going to be doing a movie about Hannibal, the Carthaginian. Am I saying that correctly? Carthaginian. Back in the day. The general from back in the day. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. Oh man, Black Panther 3. That's going to be woof. Oh, and Shakespeare's Othello and King Lear. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Denzel is going out strong. He's going out strong for sure. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, exactly. So it says that he could, like I said, it says he could be playing Robert McCall, the Equalizer, at close to 80 years old. As Deadpool says, till you're 90. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now what's funny is that Antoine Fuqua had mentioned, like he teased, like, oh, maybe we'll use de-aging technology for Washington for an Equalizer prequel movie. Don't do that. I know you teasing, but don't do that. Don't do that. No. It didn't work, right? For Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny. And it's expensive. Like, it's not worth it. And I love Harrison Ford. It's not worth it. Just hire a younger actor who looks similar, like you used to do back in the day. Everything doesn't have to be like... I mean, I'm starting to wonder, like, it's not all inflation why these movies cost more to make. I think we need to kind of go back to practical effects that are enhanced by CGI, not rely entirely on CGI. Of course, unless, of course, like it's something ridiculous like 4 giant turtles, but even then. So, I digress. Now, since we're on the topics of sequels, and I've talked about how excited I am about Ready or Not 2 and Equalizer 4 and 5. That does not mean I'm excited for all sequels. So I'm gonna name a couple that I'm on the fence about a little bit. So there's Happy Gilmore 2 with Adam Sandler. Huge fan of Happy Gilmore. I remember watching it on a plane. I think I was going to Pennsylvania. This is years ago. And it was when there was one screen that everybody had to watch. Like, oh, did you want to, did you want to watch a movie? Well, this is the movie that's playing. You can either watch that or go to sleep. So I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And I really wasn't on board. Like, Happy Gilmore, what is this? And then I was like, oh, okay. I'm a fan. It was pleasantly surprising. I don't know what a sequel is going to look like for me right now, though. I don't know. Some things are perfectly done in their time. You know what I mean? Ice Age 6. Okay. So 1, 2, and 3 are my favorites. Hands down. 4. I'm trying to remember what 4 is. I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, okay. I remember 4. Yeah, 4 was okay. Yeah, that was the thing with the pirates. That was okay. And then 5, it was all right. So I don't know what 6 is gonna be. I think all those animals are grandparents by now. Freaky Friday 2 with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, which first one was hilarious. We'll see what this one is. And again, I'm not saying like they're going to be bad. What I'm saying is these are sequels that I'm just like, okay. Like, whereas Ready or Not 2, I'm already on board. Equalizer 4 and 5, already on board. Here, I'm just like, let me see a trailer. Let me see what we're working with. Let me see. And then finally, Den of Thieves 2 with, I know he has a name. Oh my gosh, is he named after his dad? Is it O'Shea Jackson Jr.? Ice Cube's son. I enjoyed the first Den of Thieves, which was a while ago. Actually, the sequel was kind of much later. And the end of the first one did definitely allude to a continuation of the story. So whether that's the story they're telling here or it's going to be a different one, we'll see. It's not a no. It's just we'll see. And I feel like because of the amount of sequels and that we're getting now and remakes, it makes me more apprehensive versus years ago where I'd be more excited. Because it's just like I would like to see a better balance of original ideas and sequels and remakes like it was before. It's my personal little pet peeve. What about you guys? What's the take? Excited for any of these sequels? Maybe I'll do a poll. Maybe I'll drop a poll. Happy Gilmore 2, Den of Thieves 2, Ice Age 6, Freaky Friday. Well, I guess Freaky Friday 2, whatever. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do a poll and see how you guys feel about it. So, now let's dive into current events. All right. You're not gonna believe this. Maybe you are. Maybe you're not surprised by this news. But Spirit Airlines just filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. For real. Like, that's not looking too good. Not looking too good. So, okay. And this just happened like this past Monday, like literally filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So here's what is going on. They have entered into a restructuring agreement with their bondholders to reduce the airline's debt and provide it with increased financial flexibility. So, man, this is wild. Like I mean, I know that this isn't the first airline to fold, but their prices, their budget prices, I guess I would kind of assume that people would just kind of be flocking to them more. I don't know airline. I don't know what the overhead cost looks like, to be fair, but I'm trying to remember if I've flown Spirit Airlines before. I think I did. I think. But we don't fly Spirit Airlines. My husband used to, and then years ago, there was like a snowstorm. He got trapped in like New York, like when they couldn't leave, and other airlines or people were stuck when the weather cleared. They had already booked their the travelers for other flights later on, whereas Spirit Airlines was like, no, you're on your own. What do you mean? So ever since that, we were like, nah, we can't. Nah, no, thank you, Spirit Airlines. Thank you for the low cost that you offer to people who need it. And in a bind, if we need to take Spirit Airlines, we'll take it. But if we can avoid it, we avoid it. So customer service, sometimes it's worth a little bit extra coin if you got it. So what they're saying here now is that they're seeing customer preferences change. People now are valuing a premium product, an experience more so than like cheap airfare, which again, in this economy, I'm very surprised. So I know I said that we don't fly Spirit Airlines, but we don't fly often. So that's also a thing too to consider. He says that people says that they don't want to see any added costs. They want an all-in full service offering. Okay. That makes sense because let me tell you, Spirit Airlines, and I think, well, no, JetBlue not as bad, but Spirit Airlines, that's be how they get you, them little fees and little add-ons, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. And I guess people don't like feeling got. I guess people prefer, like, if you go and try me up to my face. Tell me what it's going to cost. Don't surprise me on the back end. I think no one really likes that. And it's probably what's really turning people off, if we're being honest. Yeah. Now, here's what this means for people because they just filed it and we're literally going into the Thanksgiving holiday. Yikes. So it's a very shifty time, but have no fear. So if you already have flights and reservations, you can still use your tickets. You're still all good. And flight credits and loyalty points are still valid, and can be redeemed as usual. Customers can also make new reservations for future travel, so you can book for future travel. Which I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I mean? Like, you just filed bankruptcy, but you're like, yeah, you can still book with us for the future. Are you gonna be here? I mean, they're anticipating they are because they're essentially expecting to come out of the bankruptcy in the first quarter of 2025. And let's see here. So it says that Spirit customers can still benefit from the airline's free Spirit loyalty program, as well as accrue and redeem Savers Club perks and credit card terms. So they're not taking away benefits in that standing. You guys can still enjoy that. But what you may see are schedule modifications, changes. So the industry experts are advising customers to keep a close eye on the upcoming bookings. And that includes updating contact information so the airline can reach them with modifications to the flights, because you have to assume, right? They're going to Chapter 11. They're trying to drop debt. They're not trying to incur more debt. So they're going to be cutting down on how many flights are going out. So they're going to try to be, especially if you have two separate flights and maybe they're only half filled and you have an opportunity to combine them and fill it, you can see a lot of that happening. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah, they're definitely trimming their schedule. And that means your flight could be changed or canceled. Now, what this does also mean is that Spirit Airlines, their major airports may be flying out of smaller hubs now. They might not be flying out of the big known airports anymore. So be on the lookout for that. And as much as some people may not like Spirit, I have no personal feelings against Spirit. I think it's a good option for people who are on a very tight budget, which, depending on the circumstances, at one point or another can be most of us. But this does not really bode well overall if you think about it, because Spirit Airlines, their cheap prices have been a steady contender for some of the other big dog airlines. But if they're kind of having to die down and withdraw, where's the incentive for the big dog airlines to kind of be a little bit more compromising in their pricing and amenities and things like that? So this happening to Spirit could have a shift that affects everyone across the board. It might not be as fun as you think it is. The downfall could kind of impact us more than we think it could. So just something to think about. Let's see. Yeah. Man, this is interesting. Yeah, because the Spirit's going to have less routes that they serve. Again, which means less pressure for other airlines to be competitive, we could literally see higher airfare fees across on other airlines, American Airlines and Southwest, all of them. This is not looking good. So even if you don't ride Spirit Airlines, this could impact you. So I don't know. And it's holiday time. Oof, live flights going out. Well, to be on the safe side, I would routinely check your Spirit Airlines flights. Make sure your contact information, like I said, is up to date, and make sure to keep your head on a swivel and see what's going on. But that's unfortunate. That is wild. And finally, our tech story for the I say for the night, but for the day. A tech story. AI landlord screening tool will stop scoring low-income tenants after discrimination suit. What? You're telling me that AI was discriminating against lower income Black and Hispanic people? See, it ain't so. Okay. AI is so wonderful. All right. I'll behave. Let's dive into this story. So, Safe Rent, which is an AI screening tool used by landlords, will no longer use AI powered scores to evaluate whether someone using housing vouchers would make a good tenant. So, on Wednesday, $2.3 million settlement was approved by a judge, Angel Kelly, again to prevent Safe Rent from discriminating against tenants based on income and race. So this class action suit was filed in 2022 in Massachusetts. And they found that the scoring system was disproportionately harming people using housing vouchers, which were specifically Black and Hispanic applicants. The algorithm for this AI uses factors like credit history and non-rental related debts to assign a safe rent score to potential tenants. And landlords can use this score to determine whether to accept or deny someone's rental application. Now, the system, it sounds good, except that the system allegedly assigned lower scores unfairly for Black and Hispanic tenants, as well as people who were using housing vouchers, leading landlords to deny their housing applications. Question: who designed the programming and algorithm for the Safe Rent AI? I know what factors were input, but you tell me that AI went above and beyond to add a more layer of information and difficulty? Or was that programmed in? Now, I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's conspiracy theory. No, it's not it. I'm legitimately curious and would like to know. So basically, the 5-year settlement. Safe Rent will no longer display a tenant screening score for applicants using housing vouchers nationwide, nor can it include a score when landlords use its affordable Safe Rent score model. So, it can't display the recommendations on whether to accept or deny someone's application if they're using housing vouchers. This means that landlords will now have to evaluate renters who use housing vouchers based on their entire record rather than just using their Safe Rent score. Exactly. People are not a monolith, and they have stages and seasons in life. Like, okay. So, for people who want to argue that the good thing about AI coming in is that it's not judging as harshly as a human would, that it's going to be more logical and fair, this just disproves that. And my distrust of AI is validated yet again. Wow. So the money collected as part of the settlement will go to Massachusetts-based rental applicants who use housing vouchers and weren't able to secure housing due to Safe Rent's tenant score. What is happening? What is happening, people? What is happening? Like, are you guys serious about this? Like, okay. Let me not get myself worked up. As I've said repeatedly, my favorite movie of all time is Terminator 2. And when you are 7 or 8 years old watching Terminator 2, it kind of ingrains in you a certain feeling and view towards too much AI involvement. And I feel like we are here and I'm screaming into the void and no one's listening because no one's left except AI bots. No, but seriously, this is this is concerning. I'm glad they caught it, but how long had this been running? Like, I don't see where it says how long this AI was operating. I I'm not even entirely sure how they caught it, to be perfectly honest. I don't know who was running it, like who was reviewing the data to ensure that it was operating correctly and noticed the inconsistencies. Again, I'm glad they caught it, but this also proves that you can't just let AI run wild on its own. Like, there still needs to be human involvement. And I'm I'm wondering if we are going to scale back a little bit, or if we're going to go full force, irregardless of the difficulties and annoyances that are connected with AI. Like, it used to be an option and now it's not. It's everywhere, regardless of not you want it. So it has its place. I don't say there shouldn't be any AI. I just don't like the amount of reliance and you guys get it. I'm not even gonna. Every time we do a tech story, here I am talking about this. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Safeguard is the latest algorithm-driven property management software to face legal action. Hold. Did you hear what it said? Hold on. Let me look this. Safe Rent is the latest algorithm-driven property management software to face legal action because it is not the only one. In August, the Department of Justice sued RealPage over claims its algorithmic pricing software raises rent. Guys, can we just all agree that AI is a tool that is helpful, but needs to be monitored, and maybe something that we can sprinkle in and maybe not full force rely on? I know it has its place, and don't get me wrong, the advancements are awesome. No, the advancements are awesome. And again, I'm not saying get rid of it. I just don't like how. Let's just make sure we're not asleep at the wheel. Because Lord knows, self-driving cars have their own issues now. Let's just keep our heads on a swivel, guys. Just saying. All right. Let me know your thoughts about this. How you feeling about this story, about the AI and all that things. And I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what to tell you guys. This is just the beginning. I know there's gonna be more. And again, the human error is human error. Okay, there's definitely been redlining and all kind of discrimination long before AI stepped in and joined the fray. It's just surprising to see that AI isn't as balanced and equal as it is being marketed to be, is my thing. So anyway, that's the show. Thank you guys for joining in. Hopefully I kept you guys entertained and informed. And I'm looking forward to yet another episode. Now, next week is Thanksgiving, so there's not going to be a show that Friday. I will be back the following Friday, which I think is December 6th. But I am going to be doing some trailer reactions, so look out for those next week. I've got some fun ones coming up. And they just released a teaser for How to Train Your Dragon. So I'm the live action version. Yeah, I'm hopping on that. I want to see what they're working with for sure. All right. Thank you guys again. Again, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We appreciate it. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. The flip side. Yeah. I'm getting old. Bye.